Hello friends and welcome to another Angry Hobo channel with your host Angry Hobo. This video is for entertainment and education purposes only. Any and everything I say could be wrong. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. So I got off work early today and I just don't even know what to do with myself, so turning on the camera. So it rained. It's rained a lot, and so that's one reason why we got off early today. I just drank a medium cafe latte. I treated myself, and I got the jitters, bro. I'll tell you what, man. That was some fucking kick-ass fucking coffee, dude. That's a good thing. It's good. This is good. That was the whole intent. That was the intent. It was a little unexpected to get blasted like I am, but that's okay. So anyhow, so I'm just doing a video. I ain't fucking nothing, dude. It's whatever, you know. There's everything and there's nothing all going on at the same time. You know, pick your pleasure. Which you want? What do you want to talk about? Nothing or everything? It's all the same anyways. Nothing is everything and everything is nothing. So whatever, right? It's all just big whatever. So anyhow, so I just turned on the camera. Yeah, and it looks like this job is pretty much nearing its end. You know, we're ahead of schedule. We're like we've been like pretty much kicking ass in a general sense. We're kicking ass on the job. So I did a video I don't know, a few days ago, I think, where it probably came across as though I was talking shit about my coworkers. And so, you know, I am and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, the thing is if I'm saying something that's true, then I'm not talking shit. I'm just speaking the truth, you know. And you know, with anything, like, if to explain anything, you know, things are really complex, and to explain something using language is kind of like, it can take a lot of time. So like, I could talk about aspects of the job and interpersonal relations with coworkers and stuff, but it's a very complex thing, you know. Like, for example, I've been on this job for a year, you know, and I've worked in this field for like 7 or 8 years. You know, and it's a fucking strange job, dude. I mean, it's good and it's bad. You know, you always take the good and the bad with everything. So, but yeah, it's a strange job, and to really go into detail trying to explain something, there's a lot of variables that come into play. You know, there's a lot of things that are complex about my job that people wouldn't understand. They don't, like, a person coming into the job wouldn't understand, you know. And this is very common with this work. Just to go into this a little bit, because really I just turned the camera on to bullshit, right? So to bullshit on this for a little bit, you know, it's like, if you've ever seen the show Deadwood. If you haven't seen the show Deadwood, you're probably not going to really, you're not going to pick up what I'm putting down as much as someone who's seen Deadwood. But you might be able to. So in Deadwood, one of the main characters is a guy named Swearingen. And there's a lot of characters that are like Swearingen, right? And if you've seen Deadwood, you know why I'm laughing when I reference Swearingen, because Swearingen is just like a really cool character. It's just something about that character. I don't know how to explain. But anyways, like, if you've seen Deadwood, you probably had a similar experience to me, where like the first two or three or four episodes, you're looking at Swearingen like this guy is an evil fucking cunt. He's just like, what a piece of shit. You hate him, right? But if you watch the entire Deadwood series and they flesh out the characters and they flesh out Swearingen's character, you start to learn why Swearingen why Swearingen is how he is. And then the more you learn about him and the more his character develops and you start to understand why Swearingen appears to be this big fucking asshole, evil fucking cunt, you start to realize he actually isn't an evil asshole. He's just adapting and responding accordingly to the environment that he has lived and lives. And then you even start to realize that, well, Swearingen is actually one of the few people in Deadwood who is like keeping Deadwood from collapsing. And the spirit of Deadwood is something worth upholding, because Deadwood is like, so anyways, I'm not going to go into it all, but it takes a while. You have to like sit with the show and really understand like what the character Swearingen. But by the end of the show, Swearingen is going to be one of your favorite characters. But at the beginning of the show, you're going to hate that motherfucker. You're going to hate him. Like, this guy's a cunt, right? And that's kind of like how my job is, like with these, that's why I refer to the bosses that I've worked for in this kind of work. I refer to them as outlaws. They're very similar to like the character Swearingen in Deadwood. And there's a reason that these bosses I've worked for just are total fucking assholes. But if you don't know the work and you don't understand it, and so like this is why I say like there's a lot of turnover in this field that I work, because people come in and Swearingen is their boss, and within a couple of days they're like, fuck you, fuck this, and they walking off the job, and they're fucking pissed, because they don't like the way Swearingen treats them, which is understandable. But there's the two sides to the coin. So the other side of the coin is if you look at it from the perspective of someone like Swearingen or like one of my bosses, which are similar, very similar, like you start to understand why these guys are fucking assholes. Now there are people that are just assholes for the sake of being a fucking asshole, and they're always looking for excuses. But then there's people who are the way they are for a very specific like reason, and arguably a good reason, I've been accused of being an asshole on my channel, my Angry Hobo channel, many times, like the Angry Hobo. I'm an angry asshole, but really I'm not, It's funny, like people that have accused me of being angry and stuff, I'll scroll through my videos and look at the thumbnails, and like 80% or more of all my thumbnails, I'm smiling and laughing in the thumbnail. And then some people have even complained. They're like, you're not angry. What the fuck is this? I came to this channel to like, see somebody get angry, and you're just like laughing and joking all the time. Fuck this. Like, this sucks, whatever. But anyways, so I just turn on the camera bullshitting. But yeah, so so my job, there's a lot of complexity to it, and it's hard to understand, And one of the reasons I've dedicated myself to this field of work for 7 or plus years is because of kind of the lifestyle that I have decided to pursue in the last 8 years or so. And it aligns a lot with the lifestyle that I've chosen, the direction I've chosen to go. The field of work that I'm in, it aligns a lot with it, you know. So that's why I've stayed for like 7 or 8 years. And it's been a long process. Like shit isn't happening overnight, but like shit is happening over long periods of time. And then the longer I'm in it, the more people get to know in this field get to know me, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's cool. You know, Angry Hobo's cool. You know, you can, yeah, he's all right." The only reason I would have that reputation is because I've been in this shit for 7 8 years, and so. And again, you know, everybody's going to have their own opinion. People are going to be like, well, why would you care what Swearingen thinks? Swearingen's a fucking asshole. But if you watch Deadwood long enough, you will come to realize Swearingen actually isn't an asshole. He's just adapting and responding accordingly to his environment, you know. And so that's why it's like it's hard to read people. It's hard to read the boss sometimes. It can be, you know. But me, having been in this for 7 or 8 years, I understand a lot of things that, like, someone who's just walking onto the job, they're not gonna get it, dude. They're not gonna get it, man. And well, and that's one of the reasons I like what I do, is because I'm good enough at it to where I can feel confident, like I understand like these. Like the nonsense. I have somewhat of an understanding of it, and I also understand that it's all nonsense anyways. You know, that's another thing. Like, people that don't understand that this is all nonsense, they're trying to find things that make sense. And it's like, if you are trying to find things that make sense in the world, you're going to find yourself disappointed and frustrated and angry and upset and all these other negative things. If you're looking to find make sense of everything that's going on in the world, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Like, it's all nonsense, dude. It's all fucking nonsense, you know. So anyhow, so just bullshit. And let's look at how okay, I'm 12 minutes in. All right. So anyways, so so I've been watching Asmongold TV. And it's funny. It's like a paradox. Asmongold TV is like a paradox. There's a great sense of irony to it, because apparently Asmongold is big, you know, which is like whatever. I don't care either way. I don't care either way, you know. But the thing is all the big channels suck so bad that I hardly pay any attention to them, you know. And that's what's kind of ironic about Asmongold is like, I enjoy watching Asmongold TV, and the irony is like, he's a big channel. It's a big channel, and you know, I can hear the naysayer be like, oh, well, there's a bunch of good channels like that. Dude, I've been, you know, look, I ran a channel for like 7 or 8 years. I've heard this many times where people tell me, oh, there's this good channel, you need to check it out. And it's like, dude, it's just the same old cookie cutter fucking crap. I'll go check it out. It's like, okay, I'll go check out this channel you're saying is good. And it's just cookie cutter garbage, you know. And so, you know, I can hear the naysayers saying, oh, well, if you like Asmongold, man, there's a lot of channels and stuff. It's like, honestly, I don't even care to look, because I've spent I've spent 7 or 8 years doing a channel. I spent a lot of time, you know, on BitChute and YouTube, and I won't go to Odyssey or Rumble that much because it's all the same, dude. It's all the fucking same. Just like the people argue about how much different BitChute is than YouTube. Well, it's not. It's not, you know. There was a time, and it maybe lasted 2 years at most, where BitChute was way different than YouTube. But that was like a long time ago. That was like in that ended in like 20. Well, that started in 2019/2020. I mean, when YouTube started. Well, actually, Yeah, it's complicated, but whatever the case, it's all the same, dude. So anyways, I'm gonna go inside for a little bit. Won't you join me? Let's go inside. I don't want to freak any of my neighbors out. They think I'm talking to myself, so I'm gonna go inside. Oh, whoops. Wait a second. Oh, damn it. I apologize. So, let's see. I'm gonna open the door here. I can find the fucking key. Alright. But anyway, so I've been watching Asmongold. And like, dude, it's pretty crazy because I haven't been able to find a channel that I can enjoy for a really long time. I mean, so there's a couple channels. Look, I like Gypsy Fox, and Gypsy Fox I like. Well, also because he's a cool person. I met him. Gypsy Fox is a cool dude, and I mean, I don't like know him real well or nothing, but like he seems cool to me, bro. He's like one of the few channels that I can find where it's just an everyday person doing a channel. And you just can't find them. There's a couple. So there's Gypsy Fox. There's another guy, which I apologize, I can't remember his name, but I'm subscribed to him, and he puts up a lot of short videos, and he's a homeless vet, and I like him too. See, because that's an everyday person. A lot of people, they confuse the term everyday person. Like, homeless Americans are everyday people, just like working class Americans are everyday people. There's nothing sensational. Whereas like sorry, I always say Asmongold. Asmongold is like a more of a, like, what makes him a sensation, I suppose, if you were to use that word. That's not really an appropriate term, but for lack of a better term, he's got a massive following, and he's like a fucking millionaire off of his channel. And the thing that's funny is, like, all these people that are making millions of dollars off of their fucking channels, they fucking suck. It's like shocking, It's like, dude, this fucking YouTube channel fucking sucks. I could do content better than this. And, you know what I mean? And easily. And hold down a fucking slave labor job. And do content better than this person. And this person's making millions of dollars doing this fucking garbage? Like, it's totally insane. And it's so hard to find a big channel where the person running the channel is bringing in like millions of dollars off of their channel, and it's actually quality. And so Asmongold is very unique in that sense, where it's actually quality content. And so Asmongold is like, I don't know, everybody has different opinions, I suppose, or whatever. I'm just saying, like I can't find nothing when it comes to big content creators. They all fucking suck. And Asmongold is the only one. And I've seen him around. I've seen him around for years. Like, people will post Asmongold clips that are like 2 minutes long or something. And I watch him, and anytime I ever watched him, I always liked him, and he seemed like funny and stuff, right? And he would talk about relevant stuff without like getting really serious and like fucking going into super serious mode. And so I've always, whenever I saw the clips of him, like, they were good, but whatever, I don't know. I don't know why it got to, what happened is, for me is, well, because, look, okay, like a channel like mine is an everyday person channel. There's no, dude, like, my channel, I have like 800 videos and I have 29 subscribers, okay? Now, your average everyday person channel is gonna, their numbers are gonna be more are going to be less schizophrenic. They'll have like maybe 50 videos and have like 200 subscribers. You know, that's your average everyday person channel. The thing is, to find an everyday person channel is I apologize, is nearly impossible. Because all these sellouts, they just like, they saturate the internet, all these sellouts, where you can't even find just an everyday person. And it has gotten so fucking bad that I just started, out of curiosity, I decided to check out Asmongold TV, even though it's this big channel, you know. And again, all these big channels, like, they're all the same. It's sellout, grifty garbage. Dude, I'm telling you, you guys think I'm bullshitting. I'm telling you, I have checked out many channels and gave them a fair chance, where I watched their videos for like a long time, and it's all like always the same. They are garbage, bro. Garbage. Like, okay, and so I was watching, for example, an Asmongold video this morning, okay? And he's like making some points about this and that. And he was talking about the difference between your average content creator in his, you know, in his universe, okay, like big channels like his. Your average big content creator like him, they have an agenda and they're just full of shit, right? And where he doesn't, like, his only agenda is just to make money, you know, being entertaining, right? But see, he's like transparent about it. He's just like, I'm here to, you know, make money doing content. But his content is quality content. What makes his content quality content is that in a general way, he's not lying. In a general way, he doesn't have an agenda. He just shares his thoughts and his opinions, you know. He's not trying to convince anyone of anything, you know. And he makes money doing it, and which is like fine, you know, whatever. But like all of these channels that are the size of Asmongold, they're not being honest. They're pretending like they're not in the game for money. And they're pretending like the content that they do is really important stuff. You know, it's an agenda. It has an agenda. Like, I need to convince you of this thing. This is my agenda. And it's like, it's always stupid. Dude, I've watched videos. I've watched channels that have you know, if you were to kind of base them off of income, I've watched channels that bring in from 5 to 7 figures a year off of their channel. I've watched channels like this, many of them, where I gave them like a year. Where I gave them a year of that fair of a shake. Where I'm like, I watched their, and part of the reason is because they were making good points and they were talking about stuff that I agree with, and they seemed reasonable. But after watching them for like a year, I discovered like they have an agenda. Okay, so some people are really good at deception when it comes to these bigger channels, these bigger YouTube, and other channels that are big like this, they're just obviously shills, you know. But whatever the case, so, and my point is like I've observed a lot of channels, okay, and I've come to find that like Asmongold's channel is unique. Okay, it you know, and of course, but I'm new to Asmongold, you know, but I mean everything that he you know, the way he presents himself, he appears to be a very reasonable guy, and he really does appear to not, in a general sense, he doesn't have an agenda, you know. But see, and this is the thing. This is how, you know, look. Okay. So, see, okay, like with me, I'm not making money off of this channel. So, I can do whatever I want. Like, if I want to get serious about some subject, I can, because I'm not making a living off of this channel, and I'm definitely not getting rich. So I don't really have any skin in the game, so I can do whatever I want. And Asmongold, I mean, he's gained a lot of financial success, and just like success as far as his reputation, to where he kind of he can't just have a public meltdown, you know. Well, why would he? If he's a big content creator bringing in millions of dollars a year, that would be something that he would naturally want to avoid. Whereas someone like me, I don't have nothing to lose if I want to just melt down on the camera, because first of all, I don't fucking care, you know. Like, if I don't care what you think of me, and I want to just share some cringy opinion, or do some cringy meltdown on some opinion that I have nothing to lose, because, like, what are you in a general way, what is anybody gonna do to me? What are you gonna do? Make fun of me? Like, I don't fucking care. Why would I care? You know? And so I have a lot less of a problem. I really don't even have a problem having a meltdown on camera, or like going into like a fucking 10-minute cringe fest rant. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, you know. Now, as far as principle goes, I mean, I'm not a perfect person. I'm a fallible human being like everyone else. Although, that being said, my channel has always been principled. Like, so if I'm gonna have a meltdown about something that I have an opinion on, it's going to be based in principle, which is another reason why I don't care. Like, if I'm based in principle, then it doesn't matter to me whether I come across as cringy or not, because it's based in a principle that I believe in. Now, I could be wrong. Right? Sure, whatever. But see, that's part of the point of putting myself out there publicly, whether it's cringe or whatever, is that if I'm wrong, you know, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe by putting out a 10-minute cringe fest video where I go off on a cringe rant about some opinion I have, well, maybe I can get proven wrong. Like, somebody can show me, where am I wrong on this, you know? And because ultimately that's kind of the point for me, is I have these kind of like viewpoints and stuff that appear to me to be like totally real, but then like no, everyone else is just acting like they're not seeing what I'm seeing. And so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out, like, am I tripping or are you tripping, you know? And so I'll go off on rants and tangents and, you know, cringe fest fucking rants or whatever, because I don't really care. Like, I care more about the principle than how it comes across to others, you know. And also, and I don't have millions of dollars to lose. Like to be honest, if I were in Asmongold's shoes, I would avoid getting cringy, you know. I would avoid getting really serious about anything, but then that segues into another thing I wanted to talk about, is getting serious about anything is pointless anyways, you know, which is another reason why I like Asmongold. Like, he'll talk about serious stuff and he'll be reasonable and talk about it, But he'll only get serious to a point. And then from then it's just like, it's just like, because the thing is, with anything that's serious, dude, nobody cares anyways. And then that's what makes it such a joke. And this is why I like Asmongold, is because he doesn't avoid talking about serious stuff, but he doesn't get too serious about it, even if it's a serious subject. And there's a good reason for that. Okay, I've done a channel for like 7 or 8 years. Okay, the most subscribers I ever had doing a channel was maybe 350 to 400 subscribers, and which is cool. Like I never did it for subscribers, I never did a YouTube channel to try to, make money or anything. I just did it for fun because I thought it was funny, and I thought it would be funny and fun. And it was a lot of fun, and it was super funny. And I can go into explaining why, and I've talked about this in, over the years. Like, it's hilarious, One of the most hilarious things, just to go into it, is you got all this fucking content creators who pump out nothing but diarrhea, and they're making fucking like 5 and 6 and 7 figures doing it. Like, that's hilarious to me, that I could run a channel and have better quality content than like 70 or more percent. 70 is being conservative, by the way. 70 or more percent of these fucking big time content creators, and they all fucking suck, bro. That's what made it funny to me. That's why I did the channel. It's like, dude, I could easily give these stupid retards a run for their money. And I don't even care if I get large subscribers, or I don't expect to get any shit, somebody's calling me. Fuck off. I don't want to deal with it. Damn it. Please hold. Yeah. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. I apologize. Alright, so anyway, but that's what I like about Asmongold is, and see, because there's really no point in taking anything very seriously. And you have all these people that they take shit serious, and then they do channels. Well, I mean, I'll just do the low-hanging fruit because it's an easy kind of like way to frame what I'm trying to say. Is like, you take Richie from Boston. Everything is serious with Richie from Boston. Everything is, the end is nigh, the end is nigh. Everything is totally serious. Like, the end is fucking nigh. The interdimensional beings, the UFOs, the fucking government, Trump. Everything is like, and the end is nigh. Everything is super serious, right? Okay. You got all these content creators that everything is serious, man. And it's obvious that they're full of shit, because there's a ton of stuff, serious shit that's going on, and they never talk about it. And they never will. The only reason they won't talk about it is because it's not clickbaity. It's not going to get them views, bro. And so it's totally obvious that they are just so full of shit. Bro, there's a saying. There's an old saying. It says you can't bullshit a bullshitter, dude. Like, these fucking channels are fucking bullshitters, bro. Like, big time. And so there's no point in, look, there's no point, like, if you have all this serious shit going on and nobody fucking cares, and nobody cares, and the only reason that nobody cares is because it's not a popular, sensational topic to discuss on the internet. Well, what does it matter? Like, it's a serious fucking issue, right? But because it's not popular, all these serious content creators that are always covering serious subjects, they always avoid it because it's not popular. See, this is what I mean. Like, it's pointless to take anything serious, right? because nobody gives a shit anyway. All they care about is clicks, likes, views, subs, and dopamine hits, internet dopamine hits, you know? And so for that reason, there's no point in taking any of it anything seriously. Now, me in my personal life, I can take shit serious. Yeah, sure. But as far as like trying to have a serious discussion with an audience, it's pointless. It's totally pointless. Because you know why? Because the majority of your audience, whoever it happens to be at any given time, does not give a fuck, dude. They don't care. It doesn't matter what it is. They don't fucking care. Because whatever audience you happen to have, all they care about is clicks, likes, views, subs, dopamine hits, and everything else that's superficial in this world. That's why I constantly bring up that line in that movie, The International, where it says, the thing you need to know about the truth is there's what people want to hear, there's what people want to believe, there's everything else, then there's the truth, okay? And so, don't you get it? Like, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Nobody fucking cares. And so it's pointless to take to try to get serious with an audience, because don't you understand? People don't give a fuck, bro. They don't care. And it should be obvious to you. Anybody that thinks that people care is delusional. Okay? So now, going back to like my channel, okay? So like me knowing this, okay? I can still choose to, you know, get serious about a subject, right? But see, if I understand like that nobody's gonna give a shit, okay, then I don't have any expectation. It isn't like, so all the expectation is completely removed, okay? Now I can go and I can talk about serious shit without any expectation of anybody giving a fuck, okay? And so I will do that. Okay, so like if I were to look at all of my content over the 7 or 8 years, about maybe 15, maybe 20%, that's highballing it, where I got real serious and I was like, okay, you guys, you need to listen to me or whatever, like how I got serious. But the majority of the time, like, and the times that I did get serious, see, I knew, I went into it knowing that nobody gives a fuck. And so like I already knew. And that's why I didn't care. You know, I was like, I'm just going to go off on a fucking cringy 10-minute rant about something that people should care about and nobody does, because nobody gives a fuck about anything but themselves, etc., etc. Okay, now Asmongold understands this, and that's how he runs his channel. Is like he's not going to get really serious about anything. And so this is why I like his channel. And also he's reasonable. When he does talk, like I put a fucking like a 30-second clip or something of Asmongold where he just dropped truth. And he said it. He said, you know why, what did he say? Basically what he pointed out is basically like most people just hate the poor, you know? And it's like, boom, like total truth bomb right there. Boom. Like people just hate the poor for no reason. Out of ignorance. The majority of people out of ignorance just hate poor people for no reason. And he just mentioned it in passing. Okay. Now there's an example of this. That's a serious thing. Like when you have that much hatred towards large group of people for absolutely no reason whatsoever, except for pure delusion on the part of the hater, is totally like, It's just because they're fucking retarded is why they hate, the majority of people hate the poor, is because those haters are like totally retarded. Okay. See, that's extremely, that should like set off alarm bells where it's like, dude, like if you understand that the majority of everyone around you hates the poor for no other reason than that the majority of the people around you are just straight up fucking retards, that should set off major alarm bells to where you like, dude, where you're looking at society like, dude, just looking at this aspect of just society, it is totally obvious that society is completely insane. And that should like totally like, and that is a serious thing. But see, there ain't no point in taking it seriously because nobody gives a fuck, right? And so Asmongold, he just drops this in passing in a video. And I saw it and I grabbed it and I reposted just that 30-second clip. And it's a massive truth bomb dropped by a fucking big channel, a big content creator. And it's like, dude, Richie for all these fucking, dude, I just use Richie from Boston as an example because he's low-hanging fruit. Like, these guys are all the same. And they'll never say that. They'll never say what Asmongold did. And the other difference between Asmongold and them is they're all serious, acting like truth is serious and I'm a serious truther. Meanwhile, Asmongold is just like, I don't give a I'm not gonna, dude, I'm just here to fucking entertain and make money, so fuck off if you don't like it. See, Asmongold is more of a truther than any other truther on the internet, with the exception of like everyday people channels. Even though Asmongold is an everyday person in a sense, like what sets him apart is that he's a multimillionaire just that sits around and does nothing but talks, shares his thoughts, views, and opinions on things. Like that's the only thing that makes him different than an everyday person. In every other way, he's just an everyday person, you know. But like Asmongold is way more of a truther than anyone else, with the exception of just small everyday channels. You know, small everyday people channels, they can be truther, they can fall into the truther category or not, you know, either way, whatever. But like the majority of people that run a channel that's 5 to 7, brings in 5 to 7 figures a year, like 99% of them are totally not truthers. And so the ones that bring in 5 to 7 figures a year off their channel claiming to be truthers, they're like some of the biggest liars on the internet. Like Asmongold is far more of a truther than any self-proclaimed truther channel that's a big, popular, trending channel. All these big and popular and trending channels whose brand is that they're a truther, they're all fucking liars, especially in comparison to Asmongold. And Asmongold doesn't even claim to be a truther channel. And he is like the number one truther channel. And the truther channel isn't even his brand. Like he just turns on the camera and bullshits like I am, you know. And he is dropping, just using that as an see, he'll be honest about homelessness and poverty. And he'll say like, you know, he'll say a lot of the same things that I do on the subject. And none of these guys will ever say that shit because they're afraid, because they have an agenda. Like fucking Asmongold was pointing out when he was showing the difference between someone who has an agenda and him. Asmongold doesn't have an agenda. Dude, like people like Richie from Boston have an agenda. And when you look at the difference, like I just said earlier, Richie from Boston is constantly serious. Everything is serious, you know. The vegetation is dying. The planet is dying. There's nothing but chemtrails. The evil Trump and the evil government and the interdimensional beings. And, like, everything is serious. Like, with Asmongold, it's just like, yeah, what the fuck ever, dude. Move on, you know. And that's what makes Asmongold far surpass any truther in the big and the popular and the trending. Asmongold is the quintessential truther, and he's not even a self-proclaimed. He doesn't consider himself a truther at all, and it's because he doesn't have an agenda. He's just there talking shit. And so if somebody says, "Hey, Asmongold, what do you think about flat Earth?" Asmongold will share, well, this is what, and Asmongold is a reasonable person. And so if Asmongold leans more toward flat Earth, he's going to explain it in a reasonable way, and he's going to admit, I don't know. See, I don't know. Asmongold can admit, he can say, I don't know if the Earth is flat or round, or whatever. You know, whatever, in a general way, you know. Like, I'm not trying to put Asmongold on a pedestal or anything. This is why I'm not going to put the words Asmongold or anything in the title, because I don't want... I'm just sharing my thought, like my observation of Asmongold, like in my, you know, so I started, okay, let me go into this. So I started really watching YouTube, like really exploring YouTube. I didn't truly start exploring YouTube until 2015. And the reason is because I fucking hate the internet. That's why. That's why I never looked at YouTube, because I went through the MySpace phase and the fucking Facebook phase and all these different platforms. And like the internet experience in general is fucking lame. Like, it sucks, dude. It fucking sucks, bro. In general. And, like, there are people that like just like if you look at Facebook, there are people that like the Facebook experience. Like, I'm just like, why? I would never fucking get on Facebook. Like, Facebook fucking sucks, dude. Okay? And so you have people that like the internet, right? My experience is I don't like the internet. I liked MySpace, but see, this is what happens. Whenever there's a good platform, it is intentionally destroyed. And I know why. For example, MySpace. Let me just talk about this. So when I first started really using the internet was MySpace. And I reluctantly put up a MySpace page, okay? But what I saw is, like with MySpace, for example, like, dude, MySpace was, in retrospect, MySpace was fucking cool. You know why? Because I could set up my own MySpace page any way I wanted. I could use HTML code and set up my MySpace page to look however I wanted my MySpace page to look. Okay? So, yeah. And so I liked MySpace, because when you went to my MySpace page, I used HTML code and designed my page where it was basically my website. That's the way MySpace was set up. You could set it up. Basically, it's your own personal free website is how MySpace is set up. Okay. So it was great. The reason they took MySpace down is because what MySpace did was exposed to the public at large all of these talented people, undiscovered talent. What mainstream media does, the formula of mainstream media, is to suppress all talent. All talented people must be undiscovered, because only mainstream media can discover them. And what MySpace did is it's just opened up the floodgates of like, look, there's all these everyday people that are as talented or even more talented than fucking like rock stars and actors and all these famous people. There's all these everyday people that are just as talented or even more talented than all these famous people. That's what MySpace exposed. And as soon as MySpace started exposing that, it was immediately shut down. That's why I don't like the internet. The internet is that is what the internet does. The internet is control. Just like Morpheus, when Morpheus showed Neo. I apologize. It's all about control. So when MySpace started to leak the truth that there are tons of everyday people that are as and more talented than famous people. Like, there's way more everyday people that are as and more talented than famous people than there are famous people. So what it is, it exposed the truth that all these famous people, they're all frauds. They're all getting rich, fucking sucking dick on their knees. Sucking MSM's dick is the only reason they're famous and rich and famous. Now, MySpace was the beginning of exposing that. That's why MySpace was immediately shut down and replaced with Facebook. What's the difference between Facebook and MySpace, you ask? Oh, nothing, except for that you can't take your Facebook page and do whatever you want with it and turn it into your own personal free website. No, MySpace was where you could take your page and turn it into your own personal website. That was MySpace. Facebook, you can't personalize anything about your Facebook page. And this was another thing. All the talentless schmucks loved Facebook because then it hid the truth that there's all these talented people in the real world. There's all these everyday people that are extremely talented in the real world. And all the talentless schmucks hated MySpace because a talentless person couldn't do anything with their MySpace page. It would just be some generic fucking nothing burger. A person without talent could do nothing with their MySpace page. But all the talented people, they could take their MySpace page and do whatever they wanted. And so all the talentless schmucks hated MySpace. And all the talentless schmucks loved it when Facebook took over and replaced MySpace, because now everybody's a generic NPC. You can't tell the authentic people from the NPCs on fucking Facebook. And if you can, you have to use a lot more discernment. Whereas on MySpace, man, it was easy to tell who the fucking NPCs were from the authentic people. All you got to do is take one look at their page. That's it. You knew right away. And so all the NPCs hated MySpace. And so did all the famous people. They hated MySpace because MySpace showed that there's fucking masses of undiscovered talent in the fucking in the everyday world. Like, there's tons of fucking everyday people that can easily give famous people a run for their money, like, easily, dude. And so they immediately shut MySpace down. That MySpace was a mistake on their part. They accidentally leaked the truth. And that's why Facebook took over MySpace. And this is why I don't like the internet, is because that's what the internet does. This is why it took me till 2015 to finally reluctantly truly explore YouTube. So in 2015, I truly explored, and I couldn't believe it. YouTube actually allowed authentic content on YouTube. YouTube had not gotten fucking ass fucked like MySpace did. And so I was like, holy shit. So I'm like binge watching hours of YouTube. And it was great because YouTube's algorithm was perfect. So like if I would watch, say I would watch like I don't know, I'm trying to think of, you know, because I never paid any attention to people's names or people's channels because there was so much good content I didn't need to, which is really the way it should be. It's not the person, it's the content. And this is true like with music too. Like music should be free. There shouldn't be copyrights and all this stuff. But see, that's just my opinion, right? Like music and shit should be free. Like when my art and music and stuff is all free. I have online, my songs that I've written and performed and etc. It's all free. You know, everything. It's like, because art should be free. There shouldn't be copyrights and all this gay shit. That's all gay. It's all faggot bullshit. That's all vanity. That's all vanity. And true musicians don't they just don't entertain vanity, because true musicians, it's not about vanity. It's about the love of music, you know. Whereas all the fake musicians, it's totally nothing but vanity, right? And it's the same with so much of everything. All the fake people, it's all about vanity. All the authentic people, it has nothing to do with vanity. It's about love, you know. So, anyways, so yeah, so when I explored YouTube, I reluctantly explored YouTube because the internet disgusts me. It's fucking retarded. And I was totally blown away. I was like, dude, there's actually authentic content on fucking YouTube. What the fuck? And so then I'm binge watching and shit. And like, if I find a video that I liked, I was like, oh, that's a great video. Well, then YouTube would start feeding. YouTube's algorithm was nearly perfect. It would feed me the videos in that same vein. And so the algorithm would just feed me like quality content. I could sit there and watch 10 hours of quality content without even having to. The algorithm was that good. And that's why I never paid attention to names of people and names of channels, which is really, again, is the way it should be. It shouldn't be about the channel name, the person, whatever. It's just the content, right? And so I never, you know, and the algorithm, the way the algorithms worked on YouTube was so perfect that I didn't have to. I could just sit there and watch YouTube and learn Kung Fu and shit. Be like, dude, I learned fucking Kung Fu. But it's not like that anymore. It hasn't been for over 10 years. Like, and then when I discovered YouTube, of course, this is the way everything works with me. I discover it right at the tail end. And then so as I'm discovering this awesome thing, then that's when they start aborting it. They start destroying it. Starts getting destroyed. It's like, oh, the Angry Hobo has discovered this good thing. We need to destroy it. We can't have people like Angry Hobo discovering this stuff. You know, it's like the Grateful Dead. When I discovered the awesomeness that is the Grateful Dead, of course I caught it at the tail end, you know. And within a year, Jerry Garcia was dead. You know? I caught the tail end of it, though, which a lot of people can't say that they've ever even seen a fucking Grateful Dead show with Jerry Garcia. And a lot of people that wear Grateful Dead shirts have never even seen a Grateful Dead show with Jerry Garcia. And all those people, they have no clue how much different a Grateful Dead show with Jerry Garcia is compared to a Grateful Dead show where after Jerry Garcia died. It's like, it's not even the same thing at all. At all, dude. The Grateful Dead died with Jerry Garcia. And I don't celebrate this. This is a very unfortunate thing, you know. And the other players, they're amazing players. I love the fucking remnants of the Grateful Dead. But the Grateful Dead died with Jerry Garcia. And that's not opinion. That's just the way it is, you know. I didn't even think I liked Bob Weir more than I liked Jerry Garcia. So when Jerry Garcia died, I was totally bummed, but I did not expect the Grateful Dead to die with Jerry Garcia because Bob Weir is so fucking awesome. So I was just like, you know, yeah, this sucks. That sucks. But I went to Grateful Dead shows after Jerry Garcia died. And the very first show I went to was like, oh my God, this is totally not the same at all. I didn't even know that would happen with Jerry Garcia's death. But anyways, see, I'm all over the place. But dude, this coffee jacked me the fuck up, bro. I'll tell you what. Good. So anyhow, this is a long video, but whatever. But anyways, and And but yeah, no. So one of the reasons that I didn't discover YouTube until 2015 is because I was disgusted with the internet. When I saw what happened with MySpace, like, it's totally obvious. They do this with everything, right down to a coffee shop. If a coffee shop starts attracting a lot of authentic, free-thinking people, I guarantee you the powers that be will shut it down. I've seen it happen. There was a coffee shop on Upper Haight in the 90s called, what was it called? It doesn't even matter. You wouldn't know if I told you anyways. And like, all the authentic, free-thinking people went there. Not fake authentic people and fake free-thinking people. No, all the free-thinking, authentic people went to this coffee shop, and I would go there all the fucking time. Of course, within less than a year, that coffee shop got shut down. Anytime there's anything that's authentic and true, it always gets dismantled. Always. Everything. It's everywhere, dude. They do not want free-thinking, authentic people gathering together in any sense, whether it's on the internet, at a coffee shop, anywhere. They will shut it down no matter what. That's why MySpace got shut down and replaced with Facebook. That's why Facebook has always been retarded. That's why YouTube is totally the opposite of what it was 10 or 15 years ago. That's why BitChute is arguably worse than YouTube is now. That's why all of these things are what they are. They are not ever going to allow authentic, free-thinking spaces. Never are they going to allow this. And whenever a space like that exists, it will get shut the fuck down. And that explains the dead internet theory. That's why the internet is dead. And I love seeing all these people arguing that the internet is not dead. Bro, it is retarded, dude. And this is why I'm talking about Asmongold and observing Asmongold is like, wow. Like, this guy, I mean, like, when there's so much garbage on the internet, to find something like Asmongold TV is kind of like, what? Like, wait a second, you know, and it's a catch-22. It's good and it's bad. And I talked about this a week ago or something. Like, you know, there should be a ton of channels like Asmongold. Instead, every once in a while you'll find one in a massive sea of fucking garbage. And again, I love the people that try to argue that the internet isn't dead and everything. It's like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, you're coping, dude. You're fucking coping, bro. Like, bad. It's embarrassing, dude. But whatever. You know, whatever, dude. So anyways, I bullshitted enough. I could totally go on more, but whatever. It's just me, you know, give me something to do, kill some time, and I enjoy it. Like, so, like, the channel that I did for 7 or 8 years, the Angry Hobo thing, I just did it because I enjoyed it, and it was all a joke. Because when I saw YouTube, this is what happened is, like, when I discovered YouTube, I was like, dude, right? I didn't have any interest in doing content. I just thought there's a bunch of amazing shit. Then the adpocalypse happened, or basically YouTube started aborting itself because, just like I said, dude, whenever there's a space where there's authentic people and free-thinking people, they always shut it down. And so then I got to watch YouTube abort itself in real time. So I discovered YouTube, the awesomeness of YouTube, right at the tail end, and then I got to watch YouTube abort itself in real time. And as I was watching it, I started laughing. I was like, oh my God, like, look at these, what the fuck? And it was hilarious. And then that's when I wanted to do a channel because I wanted to participate. And I was like, dude, watch, I can do a channel and easily do as good, arguably as good content as all these shitty channels that YouTube is feeding into my algorithm coincidentally all of a sudden. Like as soon as YouTube starts aborting itself, then coincidentally it starts feeding all this garbage into my my algorithm. Like just garbage, right? And I'm laughing at it. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this Richie from Boston shit? And I started laughing at it. I was like, this is hilarious. And I'm like, wait, so this guy's like got a big following on the internet and this is his content? Like I could do shit better than this easily. And so then I thought that was funny, so I started doing a channel. And I started just doing about what I want to talk about, not what's popular on the internet. And that's what made it even funnier is I'm going to talk about shit that's totally not popular but is important to me and I believe is like super important as far as social issues go. And so I'm just going to do this big joke. I'm just going to talk about the elephant in the room that all these fakes don't want to talk about because they're sellouts, right? And I thought it was hilarious. And so I just started, every video I'm pointing out the elephant in the room is like, look at this fucking stupid shit, dude. This is fucking retarded. And then I really got into it to the point where I would get fucking pissed because look at this elephant in the room and look at all these fake fucking people. And I would get, some of my videos, I would get pissed. I'd be like, look, these fucking sellouts are fucking retards. Look, they're too afraid to even point the elephant out in the room. And I just do videos and I didn't care. And I didn't care. Like, I knew that I would get subscribers. Like, you know, if you run a channel, especially back then, if you ran a channel back in 2015, you would get subscribers for any varying number of reasons. Like, you know, there's all kinds of reasons people would subscribe to your channel just to like, you know, see if you're a freak and this and that. And so it wasn't even about subscribers for me. I didn't even, because I knew I would get subscribers. So it's like, whatever, you know, who fucking cares? Like, I'm going to get people subscribing and watching and stuff. Yeah, like who fucking cares? Like, so I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. And I think it's super fucking hilarious. Look at these sellouts and look at this really important issue. And they're all too afraid to talk about it because they're sellouts. Meanwhile, they pretend like they're bringing you and talking to you about stuff that nobody's talking about. And they're just liars. Like the whole thing was a joke. And then I did that for fucking, you know, whatever, 7.5 years, whatever. And then I just, in a general way, like to just sum it up simply, I just got sick of all the bullshit. Like it just got worse and worse and worse. The sellouts got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the garbage just increased and increased, and the diarrhea piled higher and higher and higher. And any channels like mine just began to disappear more and more. And I mean, dude, like at least half of the channels I was subscribed to on BitChute, when my channel got deleted from YouTube, at least half of the channels I was subscribed to were all everyday channels like mine. And then I watched them all, like, they got disgusted with BitChute, where they're like, fuck BitChute. And I'm talking about people that were like, you know, it's the Jews people and stuff. Yeah, I watched them. Because first of all, like, there are people that are reasonable people that have compelling arguments about the whole Jew thing. Not that, I mean, because I don't care if I agree or not with somebody. I just want to hear other views, you know? And so, there are likable people that I like that have differing views than me. And so I was subscribed to their channel. Like Total Loser is one in particular. Like he was a totally cool dude and he ran a good channel. I liked his channel and it was just an everyday person channel. There was nothing sensational about it at all. And he wasn't trying to get a lot of subscribers, and he wasn't dictating his content based off of other people's opinions. He was just himself, and I was subscribed to a lot of and they all eventually were like, they're like, fuck, BitChute fucking sucks now, and so I'm shutting my channel down. And then they were gone, and then I would see him leave one after another, and I totally agreed. But I kept running my channel anyways, just as an experiment. But then dude, to the point where you can't find everyday people channels on BitChute anymore. They just don't exist. With the exception of like Gypsy Fox, which is why I like Gypsy Fox, you know? But dude, like back then, look, like when I got my channel shut down on YouTube in 2020, they shut my channel down. And all that content is gone. I had like over 1,000 videos. All of it got deleted. Okay. And so I switched over to BitChute. I was already posting videos on BitChute though. But when YouTube shut my channel down, then BitChute became, and there's reasons for all this. But I don't want to go into it all. But I wanted to be on BitChute and YouTube. And I was on BitChute and YouTube, but it was really hard for me to upload videos onto BitChute. And so I would upload them when I could, because I was having a lot of technical problems. Like BitChute was still more glitchy too back then. And so I was just kind of like at the mercy of BitChute being glitchy and YouTube being easier to navigate. And so even though I ran 2 channels, and I wanted to have my content be at least as much on BitChute as it was on YouTube. Like BitChute was too glitchy. It wasn't very user friendly. And so YouTube was still kind of predominantly the platform I would upload. And then YouTube fucking banned me, which is super funny. And so then it forced me to have to fucking plant my flag on BitChute more than I already had. But back then, like, dude, there was a ton of, not like a ton, but there was, BitChute was where it was at. Like YouTube was fucking shit the bed, bro. Had big time shit the bed. It had shit the bed before YouTube shut my channel down, long before. But BitChute, but dude, BitChute died so fucking quick, and you know what it was? COVID. Once COVID became the narrative, everybody jumped on the clickbait wagon and just talked nonstop 24/7 about COVID. And that totally pissed me off, because I knew COVID was bullshit from day one. From before COVID even rolled out, I already knew that it was bullshit. Dude, you gotta understand something, and I think this is a generational thing. Gen Xers had seen so many rollouts just like COVID throughout their years growing up that the gig was up. Like, they could roll out all kinds of fucking retarded shit. Gen Xers had caught on to this, dude. Like, we went through the drug war hysteria rollout. We went through the AIDS hysteria rollout, among a host of all other kinds of the same dude. The Gen X grew up on all that shit, bro. Like, dude, I saw COVID for exactly what it was before I even heard the term COVID. Like, it was so obvious that it was retarded. And so that's what became a massive disappointment, is like, okay, this is the way when retarded shit rolls out, this is the way I look at it. Is like, that's retarded, move on. And that's it. That's just the way that's retarded, move on, you know. And that literally means, like, move on. Like, there's no point in discussing it anymore. Like, retarded is retarded. Why discuss it any further? Move on. That's the way, that's like, COVID is retarded, move on. But BitChute, 90% of BitChute, no. That's all they want to talk about 24/7, nonstop, to this day. COVID. And that's when that was the death of BitChute. BitChute died quick. About the time it was on and cracking, shortly after, it's like, boop, cut this out. See, they have gotten more and more effective and efficient at dismantling spaces for authentic and free-thinking people. Like, they've got it down to a science so much now so that I wouldn't even, don't even expect there to be any space for authentic and free-thinking people, because it doesn't exist, and it's not going to. It's fucking over, bro. It's over. Move the fuck on, you know? There's always going to be something else. There's always going to be a chink in the armor. There's always going to be an Achilles heel with these fuckers, and something else will come along, but they will snuff it out. But these people are not perfect. These people make mistakes all the time. This is why I constantly hone in on homelessness, because homelessness and poverty is the thing. That is the Achilles heel of these fuckers. But nobody will believe me. And it's like, that's fine, but I know I'm right. You know, I'm like 99% sure I'm right. And so if and when that ever gets discovered and exposed, you know, that could be the thing that really takes them down, or just totally expose them, like they're fucked. That's why they killed Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King knew the same thing. That's why he did the Poor People's Campaign, and they fucking took him out real quick. Boom, you're gone. They immediately got rid of Martin Luther King because he knew the secret. And that is what it is. And but you know, it's like, whatever. I don't care. You know, whatever. You know, I have no control of any of this. Control is an illusion, you know. Everything is going to be whatever it's going to be, no matter what. Like, I have little, if anything, I have no control of any. Everything is going to be what it is going to be. And there is nothing that I can do. Maybe a little bit, but it's like, you know, a ripple. You know, it's like a drop of water in a fucking sea. I can cause a little ripple, but that's it. Like, I have such an extremely minute, you know, control over what is gonna be. It's just gonna be whatever it's gonna be. That's it. And so whatever it is now, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And yeah, people like me and you, we can do things, and I encourage it. I do. That's why I ran my channel. That's why, you know, yes, there are little things we can do. And if everybody just did something, yeah, it'd be done yesterday. It would have been already done and over yesterday. It's that nobody does anything. And that's another thing that you just have to accept, is people aren't going to do anything, you know. And which is more the reason to actually do something. Like, if people aren't going to do anything, well, there's your whole reason for doing something, even if it is just bringing some levity to it, you know, because there is a lot of hilarity. Like, it's like, you know, the Divine Comedy. Of course, it's tragic, but it's also hilarious. And to point out the hilarity and everything brings levity to the situation. There's all kinds of little things that people like me and you can do all the time, you know. You know, like, don't be an asshole. Well, what's the point in being an asshole? Like, just be cool, you know. You know, but see, many people, they just don't get it. They don't get it, that it's like, dude, just by not being an asshole, you're really contributing to the solution. You know, if you're an asshole, you're contributing to the problem. If you're not an asshole, you're contributing to the solution. There's no point in being an asshole, right? Like, if some stranger that I've never met before, you know, there's no point in being an asshole to that person. Just like there's no point in that person being an asshole to me. It's like, why, bro? Like, we got bigger fish to fry. Which is why when people fixate on the homeless, it's totally retarded. It's like, dude, you have globalists. Like, 1% of the world's population owns 110% of the world's natural resources. Like, why would you even waste a single second of your life looking at how homeless people are not, there's something wrong with homeless. Like, dude, you got way bigger fish to fry than to look at how homeless people may be doing something, making a negative impact on society. When 1% of the world's population owns 110% of the world's natural resources, bro, you have bigger problems than whether a homeless person is shooting up heroin in the back and behind a dumpster at a fucking Albertsons, bro. Like, wake the fuck up, you fuck. But see, people don't get it. They don't get it at all. And they'll waste fucking hours and hours fixating on how the homeless are ruining society. It's such a joke. It's like, those are the most retarded people. Like, anybody who would even waste a single second trying to like explore how homeless people might be the problem, dude, it's like, dude, like, you are a fucking idiot, man. And I would stay away from any and all those people and mock them and ignore them. Like, they are the useful idiots. They are the fucking CIA stooges. They are the NPCs. They are the sheeple. And the NPCs and the sheeple and the fucking and the useful idiots and the CIA stooges, like, they are in mass. They are like, and they are as big, if not a bigger problem than the 1% that owns 110% of the world's natural resources. Because all those fucking zombies, those are the armies of the 1% that owns the fucking world. Like, dude. And those are the ones that are saying, well, you know, homeless, I'm tired of all these homeless people. Like, dude, it's unbelievable. And, it is serious and it's tragic, but it's a tragic comedy. Like, the comedy in it is like, what the fuck, bro? Like, are you a complete, like, the comedy in these retards is, and so, but there's a lack of people harnessing that particular aspect of the comedy. They're just, and it's a gold mine. Like, you get the right person to, you get somebody with a big platform to really do a deep dive exploration on this fucking shit that I'm trying to illustrate regarding the homeless phenomena. Oh, bro. Like, they'd make tons of money doing it and expose the truth and fucking have everybody laughing their fucking asses off at how retarded people are, bro. But anyways, so that's it. See ya, boys.